It's actually kind of spicy. I do like that. As you're going to see Knight spawning on the bot side of the map here, going straight towards that 9 edge map kind of centralized area here, and they instantly do spot a survival. I think that might have been Adam.
Yeah, we also have Pain Res in the Spirit as well, because she's tier 2 where Pain Res is allowed, so don't need to run another gen kick perk with a Sloppy Butcher with a little bit of anti-heal, even though Sloppy Butcher's kind of been kicked in the nuts a little bit, as it's got a bit of a timer. I think we found remnants of the Atom. We finally do catch on to the Atom. This is our dead hard player, so ideally the person you do want getting chased at the start of the game and tunneled out. Our Atom also has second wind with an early cracker drop there to try and mask him. We're running immediately to Shag to pre-drop that pallet. That's what we like to see. We don't want to be, saving the Shag pallet till later in the game. That's always a bad thing, but we continue the chase here onto Jarms as he rotates over the crane. This is perfect play here. Just rotating to all of these stronger pallets here. The Spirit going for a bit of an esoteric phase there, trying to sort of make her phase sound go up to the right to seem like she's coming from the other side to force Jarms to bolt, but he doesn't fall for it and forces the power break as we rotate away from that tile and find a progressed gen here, maybe someone that was stealthing, but I think we've had a successful pre-run from Synergy. We did see a crow fly up at shallow 6 there, and I think the Spirit also saw it as she's hauling us down there to find her next target.
So far, this map setup actually doesn't seem too bad for the side of Synergy. Normally, a 5 corner is usually like a pretty massive dead zone, as we're going to be seeing Sim pre-leaving there. Good comms there from the side of Synergy. Just going to pre-leave, just be as safe as possible. The worst thing you want to do against the Spirit is allow them to get multi-tags with that Sloppy Butcher, because this killer can kind of snowball pretty hard if you allow them to, especially when you go into that 3v1 situation later on, as we're going to be seeing Knight kind of just committing here to Sim. At the bare minimum, you'd expect the tag, depending on how fast this tag comes through, maybe the commit. But no, a nice double back there, and Knight, yeah, just forced to leave here, maybe try and cut someone off at one of these active gens.
Yeah, it is a bit awkward playing Spirit nowadays because she's a little bit bugged with the FOV. You kind of have to play on like a really low FOV to work because the FOV position of the camera does affect your audio. We find Burrito out of position here a little bit. This might be a tag. He tries gritting it, but unfortunately his shitty WA ping. Oh, this is not the type of pathing you want to see, Burrito. He needs to make this part and pre-throw to the best visibility, but he's just going to go to emote under the pallet. Hopefully there's someone nearby for a power save. We're ripping it and flipping it on Knight, but Sim is no way. Oh, someone else is playing. We get the power save there. Fantastic play from Dokes the Goat as we are going to be phasing back after Darren as he heads over to Shaq to die somewhere away from the active generators. But if he does die here, but no, not getting the tag through the window as he tries to make it up shallow 12, and Spirit will be dropping the chase to find a more opportune chase within her active generators.
Damn, absolutely amazing synergy there from Synergy. We saw it was like a debate there on that pallet drop, but then the real pallet dropper Dwight kind of arrived. Is it going to be seeing a chase here from Knight? Is this on to Adam? I'm pretty sure. Is they going to be trying to go towards this top side of the map? The tag coming through, nice hit there directly on top of them, as we're going to be seeing Jarms kind of running up towards that 12 side of the map, going to be going up as deep as possible. They need to be careful here because I think they're doing bot-centric gens, so dying on the top side here could be kind of catastrophic towards the back end of this game if Jarms does manage to go down here.
He is doing a good job running around this hybrid 4 lane. It's a bit of a newer tile. Our stream is lagging after that as it's coming through on the actual OSL stream. We go for a bit of a swing, but no, missing Jarms by just a hair. We go for a double back here. Our face does come back, but this might be the end of Jarms. He needs to try and rotate down to the bomb side of the map, but we nearly miss that phase, but we get the tag through the window, getting it down onto Jarms here. And if Knight does want to, he can take his painters here. You might notice we actually see painters hooks on the spectator cam now. Peps only took them years, as we do have one at 12, which is really nice, but 3 gens pop in the background for this first chase. Synergy playing the early game really great, which is awesome to see, especially because this is my team, so I want them to do well. And Sim with a fantastic stealth up to Jarms hook, but I don't think we're going to be insta-pulling because that would be a little bit silly. We're probably going to wait for the Spirit to be all the way down to 6 before we go for any silly pulls here, and we don't have any reset perks available to us on here, but we do take the chase onto Dokes, who is down by 6. We have a power down here already. I think Sim might be live if it's possible, but no, we see the pull coming through in the background as we're all the way in Narnia, which is really unfortunate. There's a Spirit won't be able to capitalize on the potential tunnel out onto Jarms, as he will likely be reset by the time she phases up top 12, or at least rotated to an area which is much more advantageous to die. And I am curious to see if we see any crows or any lingering scratch marks. We find some scratch marks, but this is Sim. This isn't our tunnel out Jarms, and I think Jarms has completely eluded Knight here as we go for a power break, and we're just trying to find our tunnel out, but he's completely eluded us with a very opportune pull there. But we find a crow going up in the background here. I don't know if this is Dokes or Burrito or Jarms. I don't see any blood within those scratch marks, so I believe our tunnel has successfully evaded the Spirit Peps.
Yeah, no, really nice play there from Synergy. I feel like Knight maybe should have tried to bait the pull and went back preemptively as opposed to like trying to commit there at 5, but unfortunately a little bit too much of a commitment there. Gets Jarms free and most likely all the way down towards the bot side of the map. Now Jarms, if there is a bot centric gem, maybe that one at Shack, they can kind of just work that, keep running deep 6, and it's a very hard spot for this kill to come back from here. There's gonna be seeing a tag coming through onto Sam, as that will help out a bit. Jarms actually going to be getting healed in the background, but I like this from Knight. I feel like the right call here is definitely to try and go for freshers, considering I don't foresee them actually being able to get a 4K here. Get as many fresh hooks as you can, build that bank up to give your survive side the best chance possible.
A really nice double back there from Sim, able to get back into the tile here, and we'll notice as well, we still have 4 tokens of pain res. When we did hook jumps, we had no other active gens, so all survivors are pain resable. And if he's able to get this down to Sim right here, which he will be able to get, he's going to trigger his eruption as well as get a potential pain res. I don't think he quite makes it into that pallet there, but I think someone's nearby to attempt the pallet save. Very brave from Burrito there. If Sim was just a little bit close to that pallet, he might have been able to get it. I think if he didn't 2 bad, he might have flopped into it even, but that's really unfortunate as JB does head up further up the map there to try and get away from the Spirit. We see Dokes working a decently progress generator here. He's our sprint best player, but we also see Jarms by the hill here. He's our dead hard player as well. And we have 2 very high, relatively high progress gens on the map as well. So it's looking really bad for our Spirit. I think we're just going to commit to our fresh hooks here. Ideally, if we can just commit to a chase with the Dokes, get that 3rd fresh hook, play around a Painers potentially if it's possible. That'd be really huge. Painers has essentially been a dead perk so far. We haven't been able to use it, but we'll see we're going back to hook to potentially find Sim, get a quick dive 2-tap down to him, and then put it back up on a Painers. But Sim is one of the stronger chasers on the Synergy lineup in internal scrims. He's one of the players that I do struggle against the most. He's very confident in his chases and is on probably every Synergy set just due to how strong he is in his chase ability.
Yeah, I was going to say as well with Knight, maybe with the Spirit, when you're going from 9 and patrolling back over towards 3, going from the back side of the shack on the 6 side to try and kind of like keep that survivor up towards where you know the pallets have kind of been utilized, or like the weaker pallets are, not letting them get all the way down bot. But Knight going back towards this generator, not really achieving too much. I do like that Synergy have kind of slowed down the game here. I do like that they kind of did that reset and they told Dokes, yep, go hide, just stealth. Don't allow the Spirit to find you, and it just buys so much time here as Dokes playing smartly. Not getting discovered here as Knight going towards that shallow 12 area of the map. Kind of just panning around the shack. Here's the generator being worked on. I'm going to assume that this is going to be Darren, the Quentin main themselves. I'm assuming they probably are. I'm a Quentin main myself, so I do like the survivor pick up there. Oh, Knight always swinging through and actually hitting Quentin on the other side, being him there as Quentin's going to be getting tagged here. Darren running towards that deep 6 side of the map. Going to be trying to utilize this rock, this edge map rock. Always happens. It always seems to be where chases seem to end on Wrecker's Yard.
Ideally, yeah, you want to die as far away as possible. This is the literal furthest point away from all of the generators as well. I'm unsure if he has a Painers available to him, but I don't even think he makes it in time as we do see Sim and Jumps doubling the final generator. I think this is, yep, final gen pop. We have 3 hooks on the board, 3 freshers, 4 Painers tokens. You hate to see it. We also have a door really close to JB's hook here, so if possible, we might be able to save. We see another gen getting walked to the background. If Dokes is able to get a really quick pull here, Burrito might be able to just rotate over to that door that's getting opened by Sim, but I think he's just opting to play it super safe. We find Jarms here, but we also see Sim on the door. It's about to get opened. Knight's getting back to his hook, but the unhook capitalized too far away, and if we just take some bodies for Burrito, we should be all set to get them out of the gate here, and getting a really good 3-stage result here. We take the tag onto Dokes, ideally.
An opportunity.
Now that our phase is happened, we do have an opportunity here to get our 4th fresh and potentially a kill onto Dokes, but we need to have a really good hit take here from Synergy and play this endgame super smoothly. But oh, fantastic body block from Sim, but unfortunately Dokes, it doesn't get him to the door as we see Jumps coming in for another save, but I think Dokes is going to be going down here as he has to go for the vault, and he gets hit through the vault. Unless we see a potential beam save, he's starting to slow through the door, but all of Synergy boys are in the gate. 2 of them actually. We do have Burrito still in the map somewhere as Jumps and Sim are forced out the gate. I don't know if we're going to be able to get our 4th here. I'm not sure if Burrito's our beamer or not. Jumps is wasting a lot of time here by just standing in the doorway taking tags as Dokes goes closer and closer to the door, and Knight just kind of needs to insta-pull this and pray to every god there is that Burrito. I don't know if Burrito has any way to self-heal, if he has medkit. He doesn't have medkit. He's just kind of in the map having a ball all the time. Honestly, if I was Burrito, I'd just be trying to just not die here. You can't afford to die here and feed even more stages. Yeah, you just got to leave. But the hook's right next to the open gate. The other gate is on the other side of Shack, but you just got to open that other door and get out. But the Spirit also has line of sight on the door, Pep, so there is potential for him to phase all the way back down and kill Burrito. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I was also going to mention if they end up getting Dokes in this endgame and securing that kill, the 4 fresh 1k actually is pretty, like, that's a really respectable result on the Spirit. Getting at least, was it like 6 stages, 4 fresh, very, very nice. But as you said, they could potentially actually get a few more stages up towards that 8-stage spot, as they actually do see the lights all the way over towards that 5 corner of the map. Now the question is, will they make it with this phase? And I think they will. As you see that crow fly off, the Quentin is left, so I don't think they're going to be able to make it. So this is going to be, I think, an 8-stage 4 fresh.
We went from a really, really good result here on the synergy side, which potential 3-stage, to kind of ballsing it up a little bit in the endgame and leaving our injured survivor by himself in the map. But he might be able to make it to the door if possible, or even if he can miss a phase or do a bit of a mind game, he can lie this, get out the door, maybe missing the swing, which will lock him able to get Dokes off, and Dokes will be able to get out the door. This is bad equal though, so this isn't bad. It's just as bad as Dokes dying on the hooks. It's not the worst thing in the world. At the end of the day, it's still what? It's the 1k 4 fresh, so that's like, what, 6, 7 stages?
Yeah, it's going to be a 7-stage 4 fresh, which is like pretty much smack bang on like the average. Yeah, no, pretty respectable result here from Knight. But really well played throughout that game by Synergy. The pallet play pair Cobb in this balancing with Eruption.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's neat.
So, in theory, you could. Who is on? Yeah, Mr. Dokes.
Oh, Cobb.
And we do see Cobb, as I said. No Sloppy Butcher because it's kind of horse. And they have perks like Solidarity, which is now buffed to be 70% healing prog, and Second Wind as well. So there's a really strong healing perks in the Survivor end, and Sloppy's just kind of a relic of its time. So good to see Dokes bringing the Call of One, which will give him a little bit of info if he ever does need to drop chase. But we have the 4th add-ons there as well with the Rusty Fleet, the Mighty Cap. We're trying to search 12 for someone here. We see the claw. Oh, God, we found Link straight off the bat, giving a free tag to Dokes. That's the type of start you want to see. Ideally, if you're Lynx, you don't want to be getting too tapped here with the phase, but that remains to be seen. He goes to the power, gets a pre-throw, bolts back, and gets tapped.
No.
That's the type of start you want to see if you're a Synergy boy, but if you're Ascendance, I would not be very happy with that type of result. I will be shaking in my boots. We're missing skill checks. The nerves are already setting in. Goodbye, Corrupt. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very unfortunate start. That is probably, unfortunately, the worst possible start you can have against the Spirit. Not only getting tapped off, on pretty much immediately right away without actually being able to play anything, but then the follow-up with the audio, really bad start there. But maybe they can try and recover here. Knight also giving away a tag after the hook. That's not what you want to see. They had a pre-leave that generated much earlier, but going to apply this Call of Brian here onto this gen. That gen is effectively dead now. It's way too close to this hook. That Knight definitely needs to go towards another survivor on a different gen, maybe get out of the way with a double, get the heal off. But now Dokes kind of suspects there might be a survivor nearby, as we see some scratch marks kind of running back towards this top side of the map. Maybe they're deciding to just let Villainix go second.
I think in this situation, you kind of need to just let him go second and get some gen prog, because when the hook happened, the painers happened, it went on a gen that was like 5% progress. Like, he got hooked at essentially zero generator progress, and we see some champion light value there from Tori as she walks away with the champ. But yeah, we're just playing super defensively here, and Dokes can afford to do it at this point of the game, right? He's playing around his win con here of 8 stages. He can afford to just camp the hell out of V-Links, and as soon as he goes second, you phase away to a generator, get a target, maybe you get a down onto 9 if you're really lucky, get a pain res, and hook stages are 70 seconds now, so even though the claws are there, it's going to take another 10 seconds to come through. We see him going second stage, and ideally we just rotate up to the 12 generator because we know Hasso is working this generator. He's also one of our console players. We see Gen popping in the background, so ideally we might be able to get a free tag on the Hasso. This should be our sprint first player. Hasso, you can't be giving away tags like that, mate. We got 2 injuries on the board. We're going to be kicking this generator, which is only about halfway. And with this phase here, I am curious to see if we go back to get the unhook. Devour is the only person who can realistically get this unhook onto Lynx now, but we do see a reset happening onto Knight. So we might see Knight rotating back in for the save now that they've been reset and having Devour sit on generators. Hasso ideally also heading over to someone to get a reset and recuperate a bit of pressure, but it's not looking good for Ascendance at all, Peps.
That was a very big, don't get me wrong, they've kind of made a few mistakes throughout this game, multiple members, but that tag there onto the top side of the map on the Hasso, that was an absolute blunder. That was a dirty hit through that pallet. Yeah, a bit of a blunder there. You have to make the Spirit work for it, especially when they're going to, kind of leave that hook. You're going to make them work for that tag, not allow them to immediately get this killer. Dokes has literally got everything they wanted this entire game, as we're going to be seeing the borrowed time effect coming through there. Going to be getting that tag as V-Link's going to be able to make that Shack pallet. We'll extend the chase here for a bit, but Dokes looking to maybe actually play the Shack pallet here, but no, decides to break it. I do like the attempt, though. I do very much enjoy those. V-Leaks is going to be making their way down towards the bot side of the map, which is definitely where they want to run. They've got rid of the generator there at Shallow 7 as they're going to be heading towards Deep 6. No pallets actually to be able to use except for this edge map. I do like how they ran through the pallet. They're going to bait that swing, but now stuck in the corner, and this is where we were last game as well.
Yeah, we're seeing something very different though. We're seeing a death at 4. Hassa
Yeah.
was able to reset there as well. Knight and Devour both injured right for the picking. I'm assuming Hasu is working that 12 generator that he was trying to probe before. Ideally, Dokes in his position tries to find Knight, who is on this generator. Gets a quick down, gets that pain hook that's right next to it, and he should be able to hear this generator getting worked to his left, unless it was a different generator that's further down, 9 maybe? So he doesn't actually catch it, instead just gunning it straight to 12. But we see some blood, and he thought it went the other way, but it was getting walked back into the 4 lane, so he knows someone is here. But he doesn't find them, but I don't think that edge map pallet. I'm pretty sure I saw a very condensed blood trail within that loop. So yes, we do find Hasso here, but he's not injured. I think that was Devour that was injured nearby, and maybe he used Champion of Light to get away. But Hasso doing a really good job with the mind games and not getting found on that phase. It's going to allow him to rotate down into the map towards Shaq, but Shaq does have its power dropped. I'm not too sure if he's a sprint burst player or a lithe player, what exhaustion Hasso might have, but nonetheless, he does get given the Shaq window. We see a gem popping in the background there, and Dokes is peeling off of Hasso to check his other generators, but they're not being done. He knows that there was blood 12, so I'm not too sure why he thinks the other injured survivor is going to be down that way. He knows that the injured survivor is working 12 and it's going to be Devour or Knight, but no. We actually see them rotating away from the generator and resetting Knight on that other gen. So I'm completely wrong.
It'll be interesting to see how Synergy
6?
and... Oh, they're going to be phasing over towards 9, basically, I think, getting that down, and Doke's going to be picking up Devour. I was actually going to say, I'm really curious to see how Ascendance and Synergy will be playing this back end of the game, because once you get down towards that 3v1, especially in S tier, the game kind of like, it turns into a completely different game. I mean, it happens to any kill, but like it plays so differently. So just seeing that immediate down there in the 3v1 is probably worst case scenario here, as Doke's going to be trying to zone them edge map, and will successfully zone this pallet. Going to be just immediately swinging, doesn't even have to phase. This Knight going to be going down there, the slug coming through. Dokes just wants everything here. They want blood.
He wants the best result possible. It's a bit of a friendly rivalry with Big Hasso, I'm sure, as Big Hasso sometimes often does hang out with the boys on Synergy. So I think Dokes kind of wants to put his big boy shoes on and get the best possible result. I think he's playing for 4K3, much more reasonable to expect a 4K2 though. He's peeling off of Hasso though and going to go chase Devour. Don't want to chase big boy Hasso. He's a bit scary, but we're just going to be continuing the chase of Devour, tunneling them out, and hopefully getting him onto a hook just to expedite that second stage, as Hasso is forced to rotate for Knight, who's on the other side of the map. So no gen's getting progress while we go for the tunnel here onto Devour to get to the second stage. I don't believe he has a pallet here. He does have a pallet here. Dokes missing his face. What a horse, as he rotates back over to this loop here, but it has no pallet, as Hasso did use it previously. So this should be a successful phase, but Tori, one of the newest survivors, is also incredibly quiet, but we do eventually get the down, and also Knight being picked up and fully reset in the background there.
It was really nice to see it. They got the full reset off. I think at this point they kind of know, most likely, especially with this hook coming through the second stage, that this is going to be a very tough feat to try and come back from. But we see Adam just kind of lurking here at 2, try not to get spotted. The worst case scenario is here, someone does get tagged, or it's going to be a quick tag and then they just go back towards that hook. But Dokes still have to see a single survivor here, might roam back towards the hook momentarily. As they're going to be kicking that gen, applying that collar brine, so we'll get that information knowing when Hasso does get back on the generator. Now Dokes going to be using half that phase to get back to hook a bit quicker. Doesn't see anyone around there, so the game's slowed down a bit here. I do like that Ascendance have kind of tried to do this, try to get maybe at least 1 more, 2 more generators if possible.
Yeah, he's phasing back down here. Oh, he finds Hasso. Going directly into him. I think Hasso trying to double back into his own scratch marks there, not really working out in his favor and getting Adam jump scared, but now injured. Adam's going to have to play around. He does have this long wall part here, but with a well-timed phase, Dokes should be able to down him, but unfortunately Hasso peeling away successfully there. He should be able to make another resource, but I'm not too sure if there's any over here. Knight did use his part, and Dokes whiffing there. Hasso having to run for his life with his proccing his life as well, as we see Knight going for the unhook here. 0 gen progress being made, but with this phase, Dokes should be able to get it down, but no, not quite hitting his phase, and finally finding it down to the big Hasso. But good efforts from Hasso as well. Really good. I think it's good use of his exhaustions.
I think it's been decent efforts from a lot of the survivors in this game on Ascendance. They've made a few blunders in terms of like getting hit for free in some instances, but some of the chases have actually been pretty decent. Nice baits, playing around the phase very, very well, trying to manipulate, back where they want the spirit to kind of go, predicting when they're going to phase through, swing through the pallet. So they have shown some promising in the chase, but Doke's definitely proving to be a bit too strong now when it comes to the macro decisions in this game and kind of just playing the map I think just really well here.
He's doing a fantastic job as well. Like, he's been able to exert so much pressure on the survivors, forcing them to reset, constantly getting tags and downs. And as you said, Ascendance kind of just fumbled the early game really, really badly with Lynx. Getting a free tag at the start there, they're getting tapped over that pallet almost immediately. Dokes is pretty convinced there's someone lurking nearby for a save, but they're probably just cranking another generator as we creep closer and closer to our what do you call that? At this point in time, it's looking almost guaranteed as this match is shaping up to be a 4K. We don't hear any gen progress there. We're going to be checking 6, but they're likely working 12, which is a bit out of Dokes' reach. So he's probably just going to accept the fact that he's going to be getting a 4K 2 here, not the 3, but I think he's hungry for the 3 as he does phase back over to the 12 gen to hopefully catch someone out that might be working it. And we do see a little bit of progress, but it's bugger all. Someone that has touched this generator recently, as we see that general aggression blocker creeping slowly and slowly. But Eruption did proc, so I believe this will be the last Eruption proc available on 12 before it is permanently blocked as Devour goes in for the save, as Doke returns at the very last minute too, so good timing there. Unfortunately, missing the phase onto Devour. That's not what you wanted for Doke, but he gets a quick follow-up there, so it won't be a trade. Devour able to rotate back down to 6 here. He has an edge map power that he can play around with to try and buy his teammates as much time as possible, but with a bit of a husk block here, Dokes rends that power completely mute. We go for a bit of an item drop there to try and convince Dokes that he was floating back into the thing. I've had that work once in pubs and I was very happy with myself because I'm asked survivor, but unfortunately it's not enough to trade Dokes there as we're working Shack of all gens.
No, this is some big brain tactic, you know. Nah, I think at this point they're kind of just sending it because I think they realize they can't complete a generator at this point. I do like how they're trying to slow down the game a bit. They try to get as many generators as they could in that end game, but unfortunately just going to be locked up here at a 4K3 as we're going to be seeing the dying stages of this game play out. And Hasso, no, won't be Hasso getting chased. It's going to be 9, I'm pretty sure, as we don't see any blood. Never mind, it was blood. It is Hasso.
Yeah, notice how Hasso is a great start from Hasso. The bugs from Hasso. Doke's not happy with that one. He's going to go for a phase. And I am noticing that Doke seems to be struggling against a big Hasso. Missing a lot of phases and a lot of swings. Curious how that is. But we're going to be taking the chase on the Knight here over Shag. Dropping the chase on the big Hasso. You don't want to chase the big bad wolf, mate. As we take the chase onto Knight here down to 6. Allowing Hasso to rotate back over to that Shag gem. Dropping a cracker. Is that the second cracker? Am I crazy? No, that's the only cracker that I was thinking the last game. But we unfortunately miss our base of the Knight. He's trying to play around here. Doke's going for an incredible swing down. Maybe lunges in that. Like we're not playing Krasu. But we do find a quick tag on Knight there who does vault into Doke's loving embrace as we're going to be hitting a second phase here. I'm not sure if we have any resources. We try and double back around this edge map pillar, but no. We're just going to be going down there as Eruption is procced on the Shack gen. And I think Dokes doesn't want any hatch. I think he wants his 4K3 peps, and I think he's about to get it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let this game die out without Hasso being on that hook. In the end game here is going to be seeing Hasso still over towards this bus area where they did that stun and the teabag. So let's see if Hasso can manage to do that again, and whether Dokes will get their revenge here on this chase. They're going to be playing this pallet starting this little 1v1 at the split up bus here. As we're going to be seeing Hasso run around the backside of the bus. Going to be trying to phase onto them here. Trying to manipulate the audio as best they can. And Dokes actually just going to be phasing out there, spinning and missing as we're going to be seeing Hasso actually getting the map back here. Going to be vaulting in, maybe heading towards that Shack mid area of the map. I don't know if there's many more pallets left and remaining, but they're going to be able to make that Shack window. The phase is running out and Hasso playing this pretty well.
Yeah, map's looking a little bit bored, but I do believe he barely makes this window, and he does make the window. Doke's missing yet another whiff on the big bad wolf. Hasso goes for another phase here, but Hasso, he's not quitting anytime soon. He's rotating back onto this edge map, which is down, but Doke's finally hitting his first haze on the big Hasso and eliminating public enemy number 1 there. As we secure our 4K3, all we got to do is just find Knight and not give him hatch, but given that Hasso's on second stage here, I believe we should be able to find Knight. No worries as we roughly know where they down them, and Doke should have his audio up as he's playing Spirit. So 4K3 for Dokes. I think it was 7 stage 4 fresh for Knight there, so not a bad showing from Ascendance at all. Obviously this game we had a lot of blunders in the early game, a lot of free tags. We do see Knight sitting on where the hatch could spawn, so Dokes could shit his pants here and give away the hatch, which would be pretty funny as Hasso dies on the hook. But no, we are going to find Knight here on top of the hatch, and this will likely be an endgame Mori. No, we're going for the pick just in case, as we're just going to put him on the hook and move on to... Oh no, we are going for the Mori. in the
Don't let the
We're
grass
getting a
block it.
view. Yeah, we're getting a good view of the Spirit Mori here. You can't let the grass or the shack block it here. Bit of a victory lap.
Especially with the S tiers, you know, someone like White, someone like Nurse. If you really just strip it back as a new team, or you know, when you're learning these killers, you just kind of play really basic. You play standard. You play around your perks the way you need to do. Have a real simple game plan. You can, I mean, it's pretty easy to try and get, like, I wouldn't say easy, but like it does make it easier to get a decent result.
Yeah, definitely. And we see a pretty good start here with Devour on the ace as Vegeta tries to get a rush there, but Devour vaulting back into the blind, getting a free M1 tag there as all of his tokens do come back. Vegeta sending it up the map, trying to get a quick little rush here, but Devour positioning himself really well at that path here with a well-placed rush here, I think. Oh, Vegeta going for a cheeky little bit of a cheeky flick, but a bit too telegraphed as Devour was able to wrap around that rock and head back down to this matchstick tile. But this is not the strongest tile in the world. A little bit of an M1 mind game will spell the end of Devour. Fantastic standard M1 gameplay for there from Vegeta. A very nice, quicker down for our Blight player here. And looking at his build, we do have double speed. Worth noting, Blight players aren't locked to double speed. They can use other add-ons if they want.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, double speed is still like the. What else are you gonna run? Turn rate? Like basically.
Hell yeah.
But like, if you want to run turn rate, you can, I guess. But yeah, double speed is optional if you want. You can use other things if you so desire, but double speed as per every other Blight player in the known universe. And we also have Cob Pop Eruption, so triple gen kick Andes on the Blight here. Last season, Call of Rhyme was usually seen replaced by Wretched Fate as it was last season. Also wasn't very good perf last season, so it was only 100% on 150. But we do find Big Man Chief, that is Little Chief of our social media team. The Workings generator here as Vegeta does get his little eruption kick there and Call of Brine. He's got a really good hook on Devour as well, which is really smack dab in the middle of the map. So it allows him to just go around all these generators, kick them, and then just rush back to the hook and see if he can interrupt a potential save here. But keep in mind, this is our S tier set, so we got the Dead Hard, the DS, the Deliverance, the Babysitter. We got a lot of, I think Babysitter's banned this season, this time. But we do have our daily player lurking and stalking in wait with Second Wind as well. We also have Desperate Measures on our daily player as well, which does increase our unhook speed by 20%. So that's going to help us not just give a trade. But Vegeta trying to go for a body block here as Lara Croft goes for the unhook, and we'll successfully be able to get that unhook. And with a quick swing, unfortunately Devour not able to click into Lara in time, as we do get that down there. And with the basic BT, hopefully Vegeta is able to get this down just before Deliverance does block us. It's that little 2-second window after BT does end to get it down before that. Nearly getting the down, but not quite.
No way.
Into him, it didn't work. Vegeta, that would have been huge too, because I think that would have been denying the Deliverance, but Deliverance is surely active now as Devour goes for a cheeky 50-50, and he's winning them here, but with Blight's rushes back up, he should be going down, but no, he's just going straight down in that power up there. Vegeta not buying the fake, and breaking open this back wall here.
Yeah, very interesting chase. They really well played from Devour, but eventually going to meet their fate here. As I see, the deli is 100% active there. No one's quite picked up Knight yet. I did really like how Knight left that towards, you know, the back end of that first stage, because that is a bit of a mistake sometimes newer teams make. They'll save a bit too early, and it kind of speeds up the death on their survivor counterpart, especially against a killer like the Blight. So nice there, but now we have a down run top.
Yeah, we do have it down on top of the hook. This is our daily play, but we don't want to hook them. And a chase, a free tag onto Chief here. I was going to say they've popped 2 gens and not doing too bad, but it's gone from like okay to really bad. That is not okay. I thought that was there is blood on the floor. I thought that was Chief really close to that rock, but no, it is our slug of blood there trying to crawl away from the hook. But we're just kind of double camping at the moment, which is a really smart play from Vegeta as it forces all the survivors. Yeah, we get a really nice flick onto Zabravo. 2 survivors into the board, 1 on the floor. If Chief, they kind of need to, they have to reset, right? They can't afford to send in any survivor. They have to. I think Devour just dies on hook here, and as soon as Devour dies, we just see a pick onto who's on the floor, Knight, and they're all good from there. I am going to be right back real quick as well, Peps, but if you can take over for me for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so we're going to be seeing most likely it's going to be Devour dying on the hook here, as we're seeing Knight kind of crawling half bled out. I kind of feel bad for Knight a little bit here. Last game, they kind of had their bleed out as well. So the pickup's going to be happening here. We'd like to see this reset, and it's unfortunate here from Ascendance, because I feel like the early game and how it was kind of panning out was pretty stock standard. It was pretty bread and butter, kind of simple gameplay, which is like what you want to see on these S tier killers. And unfortunately, I feel like it kind of just came down. Oh my god, Feature going to be going for that flick. Barely going to be missing Big Man Chief there. But yeah, no, unfortunately, I feel like it was just a few timing and rotational mistakes that kind of made them lose that decent start there. So we're going to be seeing the down there, nice rush there, 2-tap on two big man Chief, and by two tap I mean two bouncers. As we're going to be seeing the pick here. I don't think a survivor will be here to get the pallet stun. I doubt it. As Knight going to be utilizing that deliverance, which is really, really nice here. Kind of lets the survivors of Bravo kind of just sit on this generator. Gets about 40% progress. That second win almost ready to go, but not quite, as we're going to be seeing Knight on this main building. But we're going to be seeing the Blight kind of head over towards this side of the map where the Healer is going to be getting this kick and applying that Cob Pop Eruption. I do really love that combination. It's probably what I would use personally as well if it was, I mean, obviously it depends on the balancing, but now we're going to be seeing Zabravo going to be getting into checked here as we're going to be seeing a nice early tag here. Zabravo getting caught out of position here, going to be making their way towards this top side of the map. The pre-jock going to be coming through, trying to buy as much time as possible. Going to be rotating through this tile, going to be taking that window, and it's just a matter of time, you feel, especially with the rushes coming back. They will be going down here, going to be trying to go for the locker. I think they were going for that, but not quite going to be making it.
And once again, we see Synergy's Killer going for the 4K3. Worth noting as well, we've been informed by our refs that Vegeta has not brought the cut coin, so Synergy will be receiving a minus 0.5 penalty for a missing offering there. The cut coin, of course, removing all the chests on the map, but Silly Goose should have checked his build, but that's okay, because all that really does is just remove the Tycon. Unfortunately, we've got the spectator bug as we've hooked back to Blight. As he's taken a hook, this bug is still in the game, which is really cool, so we're just going to have to watch the survivors do a reset in the corner of the map, I guess, as we get our second wind charges up and desperate measures coming in with huge value. Onto Mr. Knight there.
It's crazy they do all those updates for spectate and they still have this.
Yeah, it's certainly something. It's just, you know, the flying spaghetti monster code that is Dead by Daylight. What can we say? It's such an interesting bug as well, because like, how does it happen? And how does the spectator think the Blight is just in front of the hook, and the game is just like, oh no, they're elsewhere? Like, look at this. Like, Chief's just being chased by nothing.
Yeah,
he's scared out of nothing. Yeah, right. It's the race. We're looking at the new race set as we see Vegeta, you know, fatiguing in front of the hook there as he continues to chase in the Chief on the other side of the map. But we do see the unhook coming through.
There's a Blight there. Be careful. No.
Don't watch out. They're gonna hook grab you. Oh god, it's gonna be a trade. As we do see Blight transport himself over to Chief. A little bit of tech there you guys might not know about. But we're going to be trying to get the down to Chief. But no, we do still have this powered up and this back wall is broken. So that means Chief is able to connect this window into this wall, which is a huge boon for him. But Vegeta not giving up the chase just yet, as we do have, I think that's another power there. Chief going for a little bit of a push up, but unfortunately the bun block is not quite there for Mr. FJ, but he's going to be taking the opportunity to break the pallet there as Chief successfully paths around back to the main building, and I'm sure Knight and Devour, Knight and Zabravo are both on top of generators as Chief. Oh, Chief! Oh, big brain! Behind us, we're in pubs! We need to look behind us, Chief. Big man, you gotta like turn around sometimes. I'm so sorry, but we do get the down onto Chief in the end, and we get our, I think that's a fresh hook onto Chief. No, he has been hooked once, so this will be a second stage hook from him as well, as this does force Zabrav to pre-sell towards the hook there, as Knight is likely watching Gen on the background, but they've been interrupted there, and all of our gens are also super low progress. At this point in time, it is looking like a 3K, but we get a very nice dash onto Knight. They're taking the tag as Vegeta is just going to go back, apply his eruption pop onto this decent progress gen, and then try and interrupt Zabravo, who might be getting a little bit of an early pull to get bodies back in the game. And we do see the early pull happening. A nice flick of Zabravo. That was me able to hit Chief off the hook, but we're going to be taking the chase of the Zabravo anyway, and not going for the kill onto Chief, which is certainly a choice. Unless Zabravo's also death, I might not know, but we should be able to get that down, a successful down there on Zabravo. I'm not sure who Dead Art is, but I don't think Zabravo has it, because he just kind of ate dirt. But hopefully this isn't a death, because that would mean bad things for Ascendance. And no, we just have two gamers on Deathhawk now, and it's all coming up. It's all coming up tails for Ascendance here, Pips. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say Ascendance here.
Oh my god,
just kind of jump scared Knight around the corner. What the hell? The down coming through, and now they're gonna be slugging for this 3K. I was actually gonna say, like, they're running out of resource in terms of perks. There's no deliverance. They're running out of a few other perks they've used throughout the game here, and it's going to kind of boil down to how they play this final, like, you know, 3v1. They can't give any free tags, and then you kind of fast forward a minute and everyone's kind of injured / dead, and unfortunately it's just kind of spiraled out of control here. A bit too much of a snowball here from Fija. I'm not too sure how to exactly say the name. I'm probably absolutely butchering it, but Zabravo going to be running towards the back end of the main building. He'll be going towards the inside, trying to utilize these corners, these sharp corners, to try and throw off the Blight, but a nice final rush flick there. Gonna get the down. That was beautiful.
That was fantastic work there, and Knight just sort of left to bleed out against the ice machine. How rude of FJ to interrupt and trying to get ice, you know, for the SP, but going to be going up on that hook there, as they are going to be going to the second hook there, and FJ, I'm sure, just trying to find Chief. He knows Chief is working on the generator because of the highest prog gen, and we find they're linking scratch marks, but no dice onto Chief there. He's powered themselves perfectly on the other side of that power navs to not get tagged, but it's looking like another 4K3 for synergy there, as the Ascendance survivors just aren't able to keep up, but we're continuing that chase with the Chief, going for the power break as our last token does come back, and we can get a bit of a bump logic here. I'm sure Chief will be going down any time now, and that will be the death on the Chief, securing the 4K3 for synergy on the Blight set, leaving a very tall order for the Ascendance killer. To be fair, though, there is no Tycon, so if by some divine miracle Ascendance's Blight is able to get a 4K3 result and match FJ's here, it will be a victory for Ascendance and not a draw.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how the killer side of Ascendance here.
Hang on.
Oh,
we
wait.
have 2 second wins on the side of Ascendance, so it's also a 0.5 to them, which just means, yeah, it's just experience, because Bravo's a pretty seasoned killer. I believe he's on controller, I think. I'm pretty sure Bravo's a console gamer, and he's on the Blight, which is hard. You got stick Blight, which might be concerning, unless you've got mouse and keyboard on console, but, yeah, stick Blight, so definitely got a bit of a challenge ahead of him. Not an easy set for the rollers to play on.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the roller there, the represent going to be pretty hard on a killer such as the Blight. Also, the console controller, very notorious also for being not too great on Nurse, considering a lot of the time you kind of have to readjust after blinking to get the tag. So you kind of just see a lot of controller players on the Nurse just kind of swinging the circle and hope they get the hit. But regardless, we're on the Blight here. And we see Bravo breaking that main door almost immediately right off the bat, and gonna sorry if I can talk, scope out the map here to see if they can spot a survivor. An early tag and an early chase here is pretty key, I would say, considering the win con.
Yeah, definitely hard. We do find Dux out of position a little bit here. We might be able to get a tag, but no, Dux with the spread, but successfully able to get a stun in time. We also have the Champion of Light coming in play, going to just be slowing down our Blight player a good bit. And looking at the perks, and I'm saying as last time, we got Gen Kick Andy with a bit of Corrupt and our double speed add-ons here. But I do believe our moderators have confirmed for me, actually our official story have confirmed for us that Bravo is MNK on console, so no stakes here, just kind of 60 FPS gaming though. So we unfortunately do have a limited 60 FPS, which is a shame. Because I don't think consoles can go above 120 unless I think new gen PS5 might be able to. But it looks like we have Jarms working the Shack gen and no one else working generators very curiously. But we do find Jarms here at the Shack working the generator, interrupting and working that generator as the other synergy survivors are stealthing. We're going to be likely dropping the Shack here, but no, we're going to be able to take that path through. But we're going to have our last token back very shortly. A very spicy vault there from Bravo, and a bit of an interesting mind game, working very well in Jarms, trying to get a bit of a Pokemon tag, not quite able to catch them all, as we do get tagged there through the Blight Rush, and Jarms is in a bit of a pickle here, but he managed to throw the path there as Bravo gets his last token. I'm so sorry. Gets his last token back on his rush and gets a nice little flick on the Jarms. Very good down there. And in a pretty opportune place on the map, we do have our Shack basement if we want to put Jarms basement, but I believe Bravo is instead going to be dragging it more towards the middle of the map, making it a bit easier to proxy camp around some active gens. We see the first gen popping in the background there as the other high progress gen is in the main. That was probably the double, as you said so yourself. You Sim and Dose working it as Kaz pre-stealth at the main building there as Blight heads on over and Sim gets in position for a bit of a save here, but he's also not our Delhi player. I wonder if Jarms is Jarms a Delhi player?
Maybe. I'm not too sure. Guess we'll find out. No. I was going to say, though, that was actually a bit of a risky pathing over there towards the hook. If the killer player, they knew that was a double, and the double's pretty much always going to be a Delhi player, most likely. So you could kind of guess they're going to slowly move, directly towards the hook from the gen. So could have spotted them there potentially, but Bravo immediately going towards the generator at the main building, which, I mean, I don't think it really accumulates too much considering they can't really defend the gen, so walking over there and kicking it probably wasn't that worth it. It was going to be seeing Sim get the pull and the unhook. Wasn't a trade, fortunately for them, but Jarms now going to be making their way. Oh, never mind, it's actually going for the fresh hook on this.
Yeah, a cheeky 2-tap onto Sim there. What do you want to see if you're Ascendance, not what you want to see for Symmetry as we do get the fresh hook onto Sim. Rotating over to, we see the Call of Blind proxy in the background of someone sending good skill checks on the main building. I believe that is Kaz working on that.
Oh, free tag.
Yeah, Kaz, that's gonna hurt. Getting hit to the pallet onto Kaz. Very disgusting, as Bravo's very happy to take his tag, check on his gen. He knows someone's in here working it. I'm hoping there's no one injured. But that's a little peek. Is happy to see that no one's there. We see Jumps getting reset in the back end, likely by Dokes, as Kaz has wandered off elsewhere. And we're just checking the rest of the map now, and we have another high progress gen here. As I think this is someone healthy. We do find Jokes here working this generator, but this is going to be our pop eruption core. Brian is very good patience from Dokes, going for a cheeky swing down. Zabravo not quite able to get it. 2 emote. That's going to be a minus 500 penalty there for you, Dokes, as we get this more Champion of Light value, as well as running into the wall there. Now Champion of Light, of course, does apply the 20% hinder, which does work for Light Smashes, but unfortunately, Dokes kind of getting pissed on, big man. How does it feel? As he gets a cheeky little flick from Zabravo, and he doesn't have a ton to work with at this edge map. He's just running into nothing. He's just going to go die in the corner, as he can't really make anything. Oh, but a nice little tree tag from Dokes. Gets him back into the map and with some resources, but he doesn't want to play the 4 lane. He's running over to the cartel and locking over a pre-throw, but no, he plays it with a little bit of patience. Pre-throws it now, and he's just waiting at the pallet there, but a bit of a slow look is going to get him over there, and a flick from Zabravo, but no, he's not going to get pissed on twice. No, sirree, not Dokes, as he heads back over to this hybrid lane, but I don't think he's going to be able to make the window. No, he is going to be able to window, but he goes for a little bit of a fake, and Zabravo doesn't take it. Dokes able to get another fast ball. Fantastic piling from my boy, forcing Zabravo to... The Lion wins again as he goes back to his gens to check on them and tries to place for his 4K4 win con as checks about a pop.
Dokes coming up massive there. I think at the start you said they were going to have a bit of a golden shower apparently, but I guess Dokes kind of just like noped out of that, declined the invite eventually, and kind of just reversed it there. Dokes playing really, really well there. Zabravo kind of now cleaning up the map, and now this is a very awkward spot for the killer to be in. A very, very long chase like that has allowed these survivors to kind of, you know, recharge basically, get the heals off, and kind of scatter the map and attack the gens and be where they want to be right now. So Dokes probably going to be getting a heal soon enough, as we're going to be seeing, I think maybe 2 survivors are over there doubling that check gen. They're actually tripling it, which is interesting to see. Never mind, it wasn't tripling. We just have 2 very high generators progress here. So we're going to be seeing this edge map on the Z wall. Dokes, you've juiced a lot, but can you juice on the Z wall?
No, he's horse. Can't run the infinite, bad player. We do get the eruption block down multiple gens in the back end, which is huge for Zabravo, as we get a, I think there's a 3rd fresh hook as well, but we do see a couple of Call of Blind blocks there. Zabravo knows that they're to swing the generators, and the Wincon's looking out of sight, but honestly, like, Synergy's macro, it's a bit shaky. We have some high progress gens though, so we're about to be down to probably 2 generators, which will be Synergy's Wincon, so they will be able to take the set and win 2-0, but we still got to play for the best result. And Zabravo is being a bit of a wholesome Chungus player here and going for the fresh hooks, not really bothering to tunnel anyone out, as we do find Symmetry here, who will be going through second stage once he does die, but a cheeky dash from Zabravo doesn't find any ground as Sim's able to make that shack window and rotate elsewhere, but Zabravo will be leaving and going back to the main village generator as we see another Call of Brian proc here, but I don't think he has enough time to interrupt it, as he's instead rotating down to the hook there that Dokes is on, but we see a different gen pop, which means we're about to be down to 1 generator, as Symmetry have done again, so Synergy have done a fantastic job 3 splitting, but we find Jumps who might be going for a bit of a cheeky hook trade onto Dokes, and we do get that hook trade, but unfortunately it will come at Jumps' life as Dokes awkwardly walks away like an old man, as he's just trying to bait his BT, but if he times it wrong, he's going to get tapped. We might be dying here at the L wall. Please don't die at the L wall. Oh, my team's horse. With a bit of an auto name, but yeah, my team's horse. Call it quits, guys. We're getting tapped at the hook. What are we doing? I know Jumps ain't happy about that.
That auto aim tilted me, and I'm not even the killer. That was crazy. But the hook going to be coming through here. Dokes going to be getting thrown there. Another survivor going to be getting picked up here. I guess maybe they're playing a little bit sillier than they normally would, considering they probably already got the win con. But what I really like to see here from Ascendance though is, like, throughout this entire best of 3 to start set, they've on killer or survivor side, no matter the difference in the scores, they've kind of just always just been trying to play for the best result, and that's the mentality that's going to get you far, I would say. So really well played here from Ascendance in that regard, as Zabravo going to be getting the here. Nice little pop, but I think the closing moments of this game, I think we will at least see probably 2 people get out here. Zabravo actually has spotted a survivor player around this car. I think that might be the injured detective tap, which is an unfortunate positioning there from John. Going to be trying to crouch there, not quite going to work, as a nice down coming through from Zabravo. And they actually are cleaning up and getting a few hook scores back in this game.
Yeah, you're cleaning up a little bit. You get Jones back on the hook there. I believe he's going to be dead on the hook as well. So we do get an elimination nice and early there, which is great to see from the Bravo. Trying to play around his 4 coming. I don't know how progress his gen is. It's not too progress. So a 4K1 honestly is doable here. If we get some decent tags, go play it slow. We're going to be able to pop there, but we don't time our eruption there. We're still on cooldown, so that's not going to erupt when we do eventually get it down, which is a shame. And we see a reset onto Symmetry here in this little hybrid lane, but he won't be able to get that fast fall, but he does fake it, baiting Survivor successfully. He's not able to hit that rush, but he plays it super patient, which is well done, getting that last minute rush there on his 4th tag. And the stream's lagging a little bit, so I can't quite tell what's happening, but we did get the stun there, so we're going to be able to take the window and rotate it elsewhere, hopefully to somewhere a bit more power advance and not die next to our active generators. But the blast power's back online, and if we're not careful, we might be dying in the middle here, but we get another power stun from what I can tell through the ham radio. As we're just going to be breaking that power there, getting our tokens back, going for another rush, but we're going to be dropping that chaser and rotating to elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, this ham radio connection, we have very little to go off of at the moment. But Bravo going to be trying to dash around. They're checking these other generators, going to be getting that fatigue, probably going to pop that call of Brian, as we're going to be seeing a few survivors just aggressively fast vaulting away. Doesn't really seem like they have much of a care in the world, but maybe they will. Maybe Sim might actually have to have a care momentarily soon, because we're going to be seeing the Blight kind of dashing across the map, following this blood trail, and finding the injured survivor is definitely what you want to at least be able to do in this situation. Yeah, down is going to have to be fast, as that generator is probably going to get doubled.
Yeah, that gem will likely get doubled. We did hear a power vault there in the background. As we're seeing the call of Brian proc though, as we do fatigue in the middle of the map there, which is unfortunate. We're kind of being split into 2 different areas, as Synergy does do a good job of just double splitting 2 different generators. We're going to be applying our eruption back on this generator as the gen kick limit does slowly creep on us there. So it is now just a battle of attrition, as Synergy need to play it super slow. We head back over to this gen, but it's not that high progress, as we likely did someone just see someone pre-leave by the time he was rushing over. So Bravo in a bit of an awkward situation where he is in the sort of area of being able to 4K1, but he needs to try and play super aggressively, get those double taps, and needs to sort of pray that Bravo kind of makes a bit of a macro mistake maybe, and doesn't chase someone that he should be chasing, or we do get a really quick tag,
nice DH!
Nice, very good job from Sim there. A bit lagging stream as well on the Discord, so I'm really sorry for the actual stream, but we do get a nice little down there from what I could hear in the middle of main as well. So there's going to be a central hook between all the gens as well, Peps.
I was going to say, Synergy are being smart with their positioning in the end game as well, positioning their sprint burst player to be the aggressive player in, the not great side of the map, you'd say. Pretty dead area, obviously. The generator's just sitting all by its lonesome as well, so really smart to have the Jonah kind of sitting over here, but unfortunately, they're going to be finding Sim, the injured survivor, which is exactly what Bravo wanted. The rotation going to be coming through here on the pull, but Bravo is more interested. It seems like they are on the Jonah, but not quite able to find him, as the kind of at a loss here. Have to kick this gen, as you mentioned before. It is creeping up. They're not going to be able to kick that gen many more times.
Yeah, I think Eruption did activate, so it's got at least one more Eruption pocket into it. We unfortunately don't successfully get the flick there. Sim's already fully healed in the background there. I don't know when that happened. That might have been second wind, perhaps. But this generator is also slowly creeping up in progress, as Kaz plays the slows game, just keeps pre-living, keeps coming back to it, doing a really good job of playing stealthily. But unfortunately, I believe she just got found, as I'm going to be going for the flick there. And yeah, not quite able to find anything there on those rushes. As I'm just going to be switching to Ranga's pop here, as he does have a little bit of a better connection on the Discord stream, which is good to see. But we're going to be taking a little bit of a short swing there through the power. They're not quite able to find a connection onto Symmetry here. But, Symmetry playing very well, confusing Survivor a little bit, touching him on the butt, just a bit of a butt smack while he's trying to do a bit of bump logic there. Symmetry gives him the stare down, as he's trying to keep a baited chase there. But we get a cheeky little M1 down. Not too sure what the plan was there. It's the Symmetry, but this might lead to a bit of a 2-tap if we don't play our cards right. But Survivor is being forced to leave that chase and head back down to the other generators that Kaz is working on. But I'm not too sure if he has enough time. He does barely have enough time, but we see the fast flip there happening in the background from Kaz. But while he's over here kicking this generator, that's 99. We see the other gen popping in the background. Synergy able to pop all generators there and recovering fantastically in the end game. And we have some pretty split doors too here, so we will definitely be seeing outs here, Peps.
Yeah, we definitely will see outs. I think, what was my prediction? 8-9 stage. We'll see if we end up getting to it, but Kaz is going to be getting tagged here. Right near the gate, going to be getting spotted. Is Kaz the fresh hook survivor?
Kaz is the final threshold survivor. I don't believe she's been down, but I could be completely wrong. She's also had deliverance play, so if she does get down, it's not too bad. Symmetry trying to go into the corner there, but I think survivors realized that Kaz is fresh and tried to go for her, but unfortunately wasn't able to find her as, oh god, we go saw Dokes jump scare, and yes, Kaz is indeed fresh.
The
but
beamer!
we take the M1 onto Dokes, and Dokes and Symmetry are just going to be forcing out the gate, and I dare say Kaz will be finding her escape through the hatch, and she hauls us over there, and she was a deli player anyway, so she did get hooked, and someone was still in the match. She would have been able to deli and get out the door, but regardless, we see the fresh hook coming out through the shack there, and those wonderful plays with Synergy. I'm definitely not biased there, as we see a 2